Srimad Divine Grace of Yaśodā and Bhakti-yoga Swami Shri Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrindavan Nanda Mahārāja Shri Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Radha Krishna Shyama Kund Radha Kundi Govardhan ki Brajbhumi Vrindavan Dham ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham ki Ganga Jamuna Maiya ki Tulsi Devi ki Bhakti Devi ki Smaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Prabhupada ki Kankraj Srimad Bhagavatam Jai Gaur Premanand all glories to Samadhi, all glories to Samadhi. Shri Guru and Bhagavad-Gita. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti-vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhakti Satarini Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam namaskrityam Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Krishnaya vasudevaya Devaki nandanaya cha Nanda gopakumaraya Govindaya namo namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. You're all welcome at Sri Krishna Balinām and ISKCON Vrindavan from morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are reading from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 25. The chapter is entitled Kṛṣṇa Lift Govardhan Hill. And we are in the last part of this chapter. And we have to complete today the last 4 verses, 30 to 33. Kṛṣṇa lift Govardhan hill. Is it extraordinary for Kṛṣṇa to lift Govardhan hill? Not at all. Gama Vishyānca Bhūtāni Dhāryāmi Aham Ojsa. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, by my fraction I enter into the earth and maintain it in its orbit. So Govardhan is a one small hill on the earth. Whole earth is maintained by Kṛṣṇa. So it's not extraordinary for Kṛṣṇa. But it's extraordinary for the devotees because he protected them by lifting Govardhan hill. So, Govardhan hill, 7 days are over. Rain start, thunder start, sun visible in the sky. And Kṛṣṇa asked, now it's all safe along with cows, please go back to your own homes. And then Kṛṣṇa put the hill back in its original position. And after that, the devotees which were under the hill, they were reciprocating with Kṛṣṇa. So today's verse speak of the Vatsalya Bhakta, the paternal lovers of Kṛṣṇa is now reciprocating with Kṛṣṇa. So this verse goes, Yaśodā, Rohiṇī, nando, rāmaś balīnām, varaḥ, kṛṣṇam āliṅgya, yuyujur, āśiṣaḥ sneha-kātarāḥ. I think we will recite the other verse because this verse officially has no purpose. So Mother Yaśodā, Mother Rohiṇī and Nanda Mahārāja and Balarāma, the greatest of the strong, all embraced Kṛṣṇa. Overwhelmed with affection, they offered him their blessings. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, this verse describes more details of interaction with his mother and others. It is not unsuitable to include Balarāma in that capacity as elder brother. But if this affectionate brother also hold up the strength, Artha, in his expansion as a sage, now Chakravarti Pad is saying, Balināṁ could have done this. What is the difficulty for Balarāma when he is holding the whole earth as his one expansion as sage? So to lift the Govardhan is not at all a big thing for Balarāma, but he did not do that. So, this is an expansion of Shesh. Why did he not show his powers? That is, when his younger brother held up the Govardhan and helped him, why Balarāma did not help? Chakravarti Pandit says, the answer is that when Kṛṣṇa made his decision to lift Govardhan to stop worship of Indra and begin worship of Govardhan and to protect inhabitant of earth. So it has, this pastime has three purposes. First purpose is stop worship of Indra because he was proud. So Kṛṣṇa don't want his devotee to be proud. Number two, worship the Govardhan hill. So he wanted to worship the devotee more than a demigod. The Govardhan is Haridas Varya, best among the devotees. So worship of the devotee is more than the worship of demigod. Number three, and to protect inhabitant of Vrij. The third purpose of lifting Govardhan is to give protection to the devotees. Name bhakta pranashanti. He is always protector of his devotees. So three purposes in one action. It would be improper and impossible for his answer, means Sesha, and Balarāma to do anything else. Thus Balarāma did not show powers. As Kṛṣṇa is Shaktiman, holder of all powers, by his desire alone suitable powers will make their appearance in his answer. It means is an expansion gate power from Kṛṣṇa. So when Kṛṣṇa is using his will to do the thing, his sankalpa shakti, so there is no need for any other answer or expansion to do the job. Yaśodā Rohiṇī. It says in some pictures, Thakur says, in ancient depiction means pictures, it is seen that Yaśodā and Rohiṇī offering butter to Kṛṣṇa to eat while Kṛṣṇa's father and brother holds Govardhan on their heads. Some pictures in olden Yaśodā finished. That is not working. Anyway, when Yaśodā and Rohiṇī, they were feeding butter to Kṛṣṇa, when they hill, the Nanda Baba, his father and brother holds Govardhan on their heads. This is out of excitement due to their affection, sneha-kātarāḥ. According to the Vaishnava Toshani, thus in this verse they are described as being excited, kātarāḥ, and confused by their affection. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, this verse describes the meeting with his mother and others who were more affectionate to him than others, cowherds and women, and were situated behind. Rohiṇī's name is mentioned before Nanda's name, since Nanda gave the great respect and she was the assistant of Yaśodā. Balināṁ is called the best of the strong because though he could have lifted Govardhan also, since he held the earth on his head with ease in his expansion named Sesha, he was not inclined to do so because Kṛṣṇa desired to perform his pastime. Or the phrase can indicate that he embraced Kṛṣṇa with great intensity. Agreeing with Kṛṣṇa's desire, he remained silent. Because of his great affection, his great strength and his great knowledge, or in order to assist in glorifying Kṛṣṇa as the lifter of Govardhan. Thus he was not mentioned previously in the pastime. Yaśodā, Rohiṇī and Nanda blessed him, saying, protect us always, be happy always, and attain all your desires at all times. They were bewildered, kātarāḥ, because of their affection. In old drawing of lifting Govardhan, it was sometimes seen that the elder women offer him butter to eat and their father and the uncles support Govardhan with their heads. In this way they become confused by their affection. Verse 31. Divi deva-gaṇāḥ siddhāḥ sādhyā gandharva-cāraṇāḥ pushpa-varṣāṇī pāratvi. In the heavens, O King of O King, all the demigods, including the siddhāḥ, sādhyā, gandharva-cāraṇāḥ, sang praises of Lord Kṛṣṇa and showered their flowers in great satisfaction. Purport. The demigods in heaven were just as jubilant as residents of Vrindavan, and thus a great universal festival took place. Chakravarti writes same thing. Sri Jiva Goswami writes, not only the people of earth become joyful, but the inhabitant of heaven also celebrated. This is described in two verses, this verse and the next. Since Indra suffered broken pride, why did they act in this way? Because they are under Indra. All these names, they are assistant to Indra. And Indra is defeated by Kṛṣṇa, by lifting. So how they are jubilant? The answer is, since Indra suffered broken pride, why did they act in this way? They were satisfied and joyful by seeing the sweet pastime of Kṛṣṇa and the destruction of Indra's pride, which made him commit a criminal act. Or Sukdev calls out to Parikshit in astonishment, since the devatas rejoiced even though their king had suffered. Or just as one properly ignored the governor in indifference to the king, so the devata properly ignored Indra in deference to the Supreme Lord. Or Parikshit, this is known to you. It should be understood that Indra was not angry by having his pride destroyed. Verse 32. Shankha-dungabhyo nedo deva-prachoditaḥ jagora gandharva patya My dear Parikshit, the demigods in heaven resoundly played their conch shell, kettle drums and best of Gandharvas led by Tumbru began to sing. Srila Goswami writes, the instruments were played skillfully and amazingly, prachoditaḥ, by the devatas or demigods. Or the instrument were played by the musician inspired by the dancing and singing. Divi is mentioned twice to indicate that devatas in heaven were not afraid of Indra by acting in this way. Sukdev calls to Parikshit out of bliss, or to indicate that king also celebrate in this way. Now the last verse of this chapter. Tato anuruktaiṣa paṣupaihi parishrato rajan saghoṣam sahabalo varajadharaihi tatha vidhānyasya kritāni gopika Adonuraktai pushpai parishrato Rajan svaghoṣam sabalo vrajadharaihi Tatha vidhānyasya kritāni gopika Atonuruktai pushpai parishrato Rajan svaghoṣam sabalo vrajadharaihi Tatha vidhānyasya kritāni gopika Maybe somebody can recite at least 2 times.
Tato anuraktai pasupai parisito
Tato anuraktai pasupai parisito
Rajan saghoṣam sabalabhajādaham
Rajan saghoṣam sabalo vrajadharaihi
Tatha vidhānyasya kritāni gopika
Tatha vidhānyasya kritāni gopika
Gayantayyur muditah Tato anuraktai pasupai parishrito
Tato anuraktai pasupai parishrito
Rajan saghoṣam सघोषं सबलो व्रजद्धरी
राजन् सघोषं सबलो व्रजद्धरी
विधान्यस्य कृतानि गोपिका गायन्त्योर्मुदिता हृदि स्पृशा
राजन् स्वघोष्ठं सबलो व्रजद्धरी तथा विधान्यस्य कृतानि गोपिका गायन्ति यो मुदिता ततः then anuraktai loving pashupai by a coward voice parishridah surrounded rajan o king swaghostam to the place where he was tending his own cows sabalaha together with Balarāma Varaḥ went off Harihi Kṛṣṇa Tatha vidhani such as this lifting of Govardhan Asya of him Kirtani the activities Gopikaha the cowherd girls Gāyantyaha singing Yuyujuḥ they went Muditaha happily Desprashaha of him who touched them within their heart. Translation. Surrounded by his loving cowherd friends and Lord Balarāma, Kṛṣṇa then went off to the place where he had been tending his cows. The cowherd girls returned to their homes, singing joyfully about the lifting of Govardhan hill and other glorious deeds performed by Lord Kṛṣṇa, who had so deeply touched their heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Before returning to their homes, the gopis shared intimate association with their lover, Sri Kṛṣṇa, by exchanging secret glances. Ordinarily, they could not publicly talk about Kṛṣṇa, since they were chaste young girls in a religious village. But now they took advantage of this wonderful exhibition by the Lord and freely sang of his beautiful qualities. It is natural that a young man wants to do something wonderful in the presence of beautiful young girls. The gopis were the most beautiful and the pure-hearted young girls, and Sri Kṛṣṇa performed the most wonderful activities in their presence. Thus he entered deep within their tender hearts, enlivening their eternal devotion to him. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, while Kṛṣṇa was lifting up Govardhan, Radha and the other dear gopis were glancing at him from far off, unnoticed by others. When they were returning to their houses, they were singing with love. It should be understood that they had the ability to make songs about his activities at that moment. Hriday Sprasha Gopya can mean the gopis who touched Kṛṣṇa in their heart filled with prema, or who always meditated on Kṛṣṇa. Or it can mean gopis Krishna touched to his chest or in his mind, that is, who were very dear to Krishna. In other words, it describes Krishna's quality. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, out of great joy as if singing, Sukdev described their entrance into Vraj. He was surrounded completely by cowherds, since they were attracted to him. Anuraktahi. He, Saha, who lifted Govardhan to protect Vraj, came to his house. Instead of Sagoshta, sometimes Sagosham is seen. He entered his own house, that of Nanda, within the village, Goshta. Out of hills, everyone went to his house. To his house. He is called Hari because he took away the suffering of Vraj caused by Indra's pride. And because he was most attractive in performing his pastime, all gopis become joyful. They were able to skillfully compose song at that moment. And Sanatana Goswami writes, Krishna's entrance into the village while the gopis sang is described. He was surrounded by cowherds because they are by nature had great affection for Krishna, Anurakta. Cowherds include other. Everyone living in Vraj was the life. Krishna was the life of Vraj. This is described in verse 22. It was described that the servants and the priest also had entered the hall. O king, Sukdev calls for attention of Parikshit, who was bewildered by great joy. Or Kṛṣṇa shown, Rajan means shown, surrounded by others affectionately. Sa indicate he who held up Govardhan to protect Vraj, or he whose face was seen by the gopis for 7 days continuously, or he who is the Lord of your life, Parikshit. He was with Balarāma, Saha holding hands or extending affection. Out of fear of rain, everyone had come close to Kṛṣṇa, who was in the center in order to hold up the Govardhan. Now, with them he went back to Vraj. One version Goshtam goes through. Giving up other residents at the act of Govardhan, Kṛṣṇa entered his residence at Nanda place. He was surrounded by cowherds. They came with him in great joy. He had taken away Indra's pride and suffering of the people, Hari, and attracted everyone with pastime. He gave even more happiness to gopis. They were overjoyed by singing about the activities of Krishna, who attracts everyone's heart. And that's Kṛṣṇa. After seeing his sweet pastime, or they were overjoyed by the nature of the singing, or they were overjoyed by singing about activities which were indescribable. Tatha avidhani, kirtani is in plural, refers to one event lifting Govardhan out of respect. So here ends the purport to all the 4 verses. So lifting of the Govardhan hill, this pastime of Sri Kṛṣṇa, even in the beginning, so this starts Bhagavan. When such pastime which appears extraordinary, like this pastime of lifting Govardhan, or the pastime of Ras Leela, Sukdev immediately writes, these are the pastime of Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Bhagavan is there. So just you should not doubt that it's not possible. It's possible because Bhagavan can do anything. Now, the other message in this pastime is worship of the devotee is more dear to Kṛṣṇa than worship of a demigod. And that is in line with the verse spoken by Yaśodā to Parvati, Ārādhanam Sarvesham, Vishnu Ārādhanam Param. It's all right to worship God, but better than that, Tadiyanam or Samarchanam. So worshipping the dear devotees of Lord is more dear to Lord. So this is the one principle in this pastime. Now in these verses, the affection of parental Yaśodā, Rohiṇī, Nanda and Balarāma on one side. And then the next verse speak about the demigods glorifying Kṛṣṇa's pastime. And third verse speak about the gopis. Then this is the in a conjugal pastime, this is the most intimate pastime, because 7 days and 7 nights, all the gopis had a big feast to have exchange of glances with Kṛṣṇa. This is said, Brahmaji was offering prayers to Kṛṣṇa after stilling the coward boys and calves. Kṛṣṇa never looked at Brahma. He never looked at Brahma. Brahma bowed down and then he left. But when Indra came with Surabhi, Mother Surabhi, and offered prayers, Kṛṣṇa was smiling. This is all right, no problem, go. Why? The pastime of Brahma was separating Kṛṣṇa with his devotees. For 1 year, Kṛṣṇa's dear friends were separated from Kṛṣṇa, which Kṛṣṇa is not pleased with. But Indra, though he was proud, he wanted to destroy a person, but Kṛṣṇa took a positive side that he made all the devotees to be with Kṛṣṇa for 7 days. The one who makes Kṛṣṇa and his devotees together, like the pastime of this lifting Govardhan, is very pleasing to Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, the exchange of the parental gopis and the exchange between the gopis and singing of the gopis of Kṛṣṇa's pastime, generally it is said, after this pastime, sometimes Kṛṣṇa used to say, do you know I lifted the Govardhan hill? Then the cowherd boys will say, wait a minute, we also put our stick and we support it. It's not that only you have lifted. We have also put our effort. And then the gopis will come and say, hey Kṛṣṇa, how you lifted the Govardhan? You are steal the butter from our house and you got this strength. So our also share is in that. We also help you to lift the Govardhan. But then very expert gopi like Lalita and Vishaka said, Kṛṣṇa, if you would have lifted Govardhan, you must have lifted on the right hand. You lifted on the left hand. And left hand is Radharani's side. So you put the hill on Radharani and enjoying the great benefit that you have lifted the hill. And what Kṛṣṇa said? He said, see, in the hand Indra resides, because Indra is a presiding deity of the hand. I have put the hill on the head of Indra and I was enjoying. The Indra is a presiding deity of the head. I put the hill on the head of Indra. And I am enjoying the pastime. Mother Yaśodā was asked by the gopis, 7 days. The one verse says, 7 days, no coward boys, coward men or women were eating. No thirst, no hunger. Because they were, why? Because they were saying Kṛṣṇa. So then gopis asked, hey Yaśodā, how many times Kṛṣṇa eats every day? Say 8 times minimum. Say, my God, 8 times per day. And 7 days he did not eat. So let us make 56 preparation. 7 into 8 is equal to? So the Chappan Bhog is started by Govardhan hill. This Chappan Bhog, Chappan means 56. So 56 means 8 times a day and 7 days. And some Purana says after that the Annakut, the hill is now made of the grains and halwa and everything and distributed among the devotees. This Govardhan Puja. This hill is, this is some verses says in the Puranas about that. It is said Garga Acharya told, because everybody was worried that Kṛṣṇa, and everybody wanted to massage Krishna's hand, it must be really getting big trouble. So they said, in front of Kṛṣṇa, make a beautiful singhasan for Radharani and her sakhis to sit, because she is Shakti. She is the energy of Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa will get all energy and he can lift the Govardhan hill. So Radharani was sitting, they are sitting just 4 eyes, gaze to gaze. I think once from this asana, Bhagavatam Maharaj was saying, years back, say Kṛṣṇa tried to, because they were eye to eye with Radha and Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa wanted to just see just below the eyes. He wanted to go a little bit down to look at Radha. His hand was shaking and head was moving here. He immediately started looking at and gazing at Radharani. So ultimately, it is the beautiful time, a very extraordinary time of the 7 days and nights of Kṛṣṇa with his dear devotees. They were together at one place. So when it was all over, Kṛṣṇa says, you go. So they were singing the glories of Kṛṣṇa's pastime, of this pastime, another pastime, and the last word, Hari, which our Acharya says, Hari means one who take away the trouble. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Hari has two, it has many meanings, but 2 are most important. The one is to take the trouble of the devotees, and the other meaning of the Hari is Prem Dei Manahare. He gives so much affection and love that he steals the heart of a devotee. Therefore he is called Manohar. Manna means mind, or heart. Har means is one who steals. And he is called Manohar, Murli Manohar. So he steals the heart. That Hari is in Har. He take away the heart of a devotee by giving love and affection. So here he has taken away the trouble of the Birjavasis caused by Indra, but also simultaneously he has stolen the heart of his dear devotees by protecting them with affection. So he is Hari. He is protector and Hridayasprashi. Hridayasprashi is a word on which Acharya has commented, that he has touched the heart of the gopis. And this is his quality, that he attracts everyone. So Kṛṣṇa word, Kṛṣṇa means all attractive. It's like magnet. Magnet has a power to attract iron. It's natural. Now, magnet is also made up of iron, but it has a power to attract the other iron. So, qualitatively, living entity and Kṛṣṇa both are Satchidananda. But Kṛṣṇa is attractor and living entity is attracted. The pure devotees are naturally attracted to Kṛṣṇa because Kṛṣṇa has a power of attraction. What about us? Why we are not attracted to Kṛṣṇa? Why the conditioned souls are not attracted to Kṛṣṇa? Because when the iron is rusted with the sand and iron, water. When the water falls by rain and sand, the iron becomes rusted. And the rusted iron, even if you put on a magnet, it is not going to be attracted by magnet. So power of magnet is there, but the iron is rusted. So it is not attracted, right? So what can be done? How we can make a rusted iron again attracted to the magnet Kṛṣṇa? What can be done? Sandpaper to de-rust the iron. But sandpaper can do the work on its own? No, you need somebody to rust. This is a process. Holy name is sandpaper, cheto darpan marjana. And a spiritual master is the person who really use the sandpaper to de-rust the conditioned soul. As soon as the rust is removed, the iron is going run automatically to the magnet. Then the living entity is automatically attracted to Kṛṣṇa. And if the one nail is attracted to the magnet, it has a power to attract the other. It has a power to, you can have a line of many pins in a one line attracted to the magnet. Have you seen like that? That is parampara. One who is connected with Kṛṣṇa, he can connect with Kṛṣṇa as a big line. You all can be connected with Kṛṣṇa through that power. That is the procedure. So all these Brajavasis, they are Ragatmika Bhakta. They are already completely absorbed in thought of Kṛṣṇa. Their hearts are completely soft like a butter. And Kṛṣṇa is a butter thief. So he steals their heart because their hriday Kṛṣṇa can attract. Our hriday is, our heart is a steel frame, stone heart. So it needs really to be softened. And then, so this is the process. If we follow the process, the same attraction and same glorification of Kṛṣṇa we can also do, provided we follow the process. And these are pastimes of Kṛṣṇa in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are with his eternal associate mostly. And he brings his eternal associate along with him. And Govardhan is also one of his eternal associates in Golok Vrindavan. It has come out of the heart of Kṛṣṇa, is in love of Kṛṣṇa for the pastime of Radha Kṛṣṇa. And when Kṛṣṇa asked Radharani that I have to go to the Bhulok on the earth for the pastime, Radha Kṛṣṇa, and you please also come. She said, how can I be happy there if there is no Jamuna river and Govardhan? So Kṛṣṇa says already Jamuna is there, already stand, and Govardhan is also on the way back to the place where we will have our pastime. So Govardhan is like Rupa Goswami says, well, Mathura is the best, is better than the Vaikuntha because Kṛṣṇa appears there. Vrindavan is more higher than the Mathura because Kṛṣṇa has his pastime there. And higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan because Kṛṣṇa lifted is not only one thing. In Vrindavan, Kṛṣṇa has a pastime of Rasa Leela, but that Rasa Leela is called common Rasa Leela, Panchayati Rasa Leela. All grades of gopis were in that pastime. Supakshya, Vipakshya, leftist, rightist, every gopi was there, and therefore Radharani was not enjoying that. Therefore, she left along with Kṛṣṇa. But in Govardhan, the pastime of Kṛṣṇa is only with the gopis of his side. Not the other general gopis are allowed there to have pastime with Krishna. Therefore, Govardhan is higher than Vrindavan. But it's still on Govardhan. Coward boys can go, coward men can go to herd the cows. Yes, they are going there because in the pastime of stealing calves, we know that the calves were down and cows were up on the hill with coward boys, and when they saw the calves, they were running down. It means coward boys are going to the Govardhan hill. So still there is a little bit embarrassment for the gopis to meet Krishna at Govardhan. Therefore, Radha Kund is the topmost because nobody else except Radharani and his group can associate with Krishna. No other person can enter Radha Kund. There is only the place where Krishna is with Radharani and her associate. This group, no other groups allowed. So therefore Govardhan is even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada used to say, Radha Kund is so exalted place that our worshipful acharyas are living there. We don't dare to live there. We can go there and serve them. In the evening come back at Govardhan and stay there. This was the mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. That we will go to Radha Kund in a day and serve our superiors, those who are in eternal pastime of Krishna, those who have already prapti dasha, those who have realized their swarup, but we will come back and stay at Govardhan. At night we will stay at Govardhan. That was the mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. And somehow this Govardhan has so much attraction that in last days Srila Prabhupada wanted to have a parikrama of Govardhan. This was one of the last desires, that he wanted to go in a Guna card and have a parikrama of Govardhan. It means the intensity or love of Srila Prabhupada towards Govardhan in his pastime, in his last days was also a sort of teaching for us that a circumambulation of Govardhan or Govardhan parikrama is dear to the devotees. So I think we have 5 more minutes to discuss. Some have some question or comment. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Before question and comment, I think senior devotees sitting here, anybody has some wise words or advice?
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for this most beautiful and detailed lecture. I want to add something a little bit, that yes, you may say that we cannot, at this stage of our conditioning, experience attraction for Krishna. But then again, Prabhupada said in his last day that everything moving and non-moving, there's nothing but Krishna. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So one may say that, of course, material energy is also Krishna. And so, in conditioned stage, yes, Krishna is all attracted, either directly or indirectly by the living entities going mad for matter, which is ultimately based on attraction for Krishna. In other words, the attraction for Krishna is never inhibited. It's just this pure, in a pure way or in a conditioned way. What do you think of that?
Prabhu is saying everybody is attracted to Krishna. Some are attracted to Krishna directly and some are attracted to Maya of Krishna, which is also of Krishna. Mostly, they both are attracted to Krishna. One is direct and one is indirect. So conditioned souls are attracted mostly. It's like a thief was attracted to the ornament of Krishna, not to the Krishna. So ornament of Krishna, if somebody is attached to ornament of Krishna, that is also perfection. But to attach to the Krishna is the perfection. And for that really we have to do Chetu. Krishna is all attractive, but we have to prepare ourselves to be attracted to him. Yes, Prabhu, what is your question?
Mic, please.
Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you very much. Very nice examples you gave of removing the rust of iron. So just wanted, this question came to my mind that is that mean that our rust is more powerful than Krishna's attractive power?
No, Krishna's attractive power is always there. But because of rust, we are not attracted to Krishna.
That means our arthas are more powerful than Krishna's attractive potential.
Because this is our independence, little independence Krishna has given to us. This is the misuse of our little independence. Because we don't want to be attracted to Krishna. Why? Because we want to enjoy separate from Krishna. The problem is that basically we want to be enjoyed. And that is a competitive mood with Krishna, because Krishna is the enjoyer. The whole problem of material world is enjoying mentality. And the solution is service attitude. The whole problem is enjoying mentality. This all rust is enjoying mentality. And Krishna is the only enjoyer. Ekal Krishna Krishna or Sabhriti. So if we agree that Krishna is the only enjoyer and we are to assist him, then there is no problem. But if we think we are also separate enjoyer, that is actually a problem. This is the principle. Enjoying mentality is cause of bondage, is a big rust. And service attitude is a solution to the problem. Therefore, when we get initiation, there is a word das added to our name, which means now you must adopt service attitude. Because this word das, and we are very tricky. Even somebody asks our name, we are really very, very smart, never say the word das. Prabhu, we'll say Prabhu, we'll say half name, but never put das behind it. Because this is our problem. My name is with das, but I will never say das. Therefore, my request is, in a Kali Yuga, I used to say, when trains climb uphill, it has two engines, one front and one back, because it's very difficult to go up. So anybody asks you your name, then you say das Sarvabhauma das. You put a das front and das behind. That will be easy. Then you use this simple technique. You use double das actually, because it's not easy really to break this false enjoying mentality. This is our problem. So this rust is enjoying mentality, which is because of our slight independence, that we are misusing it. Hare Krishna. I think time is over. Anybody has any question or comment? Quickly. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. In this past time we were reading through that the example of governor when he goes against the king, so he is not to be followed. This is one example. In contrast, in Bhagavatam we see that when Sati wanted to visit Daksha's yajna, so she went against the desire of Lord Shiva. Still Nandi and all the followers, they followed Sati, knowing that Lord Shiva actually wants that we support Sati. So in our practical scenario, when we are to assist our superiors, and they sometimes from our point of view may not be in line with their superiors, then what is the best course of action for us?
This is a very tricky question. It's like Priyavarta has on one side is a spiritual master Narad saying take sannyas, and other side is Sarvabhauma and his father the Brahma and Swayambhu Manu asking him to become a king. Srila Prabhupada writes there, when you have two authorities to follow, then be smart and don't dissatisfy anybody and get a middle way, and both should be peaceful. Prabhupada said, yuyujuḥ, because when two authorities are there, then you should be really, ultimately, you have to. But you ever thought Brahma is the Veda personified, and Manu is the Smriti personified. It means Veda and Smritis are asking me to follow this. So that is also the proper path. And my spiritual master ultimately is son of Brahma. So his father is there. So he will not go against his father. So ultimately he went to the Narada and said, my father and your father is also saying the same thing. My father Swayambhu Manu and your father Brahma is saying, what do you say? He said, go do it for a while and then come back. So Sati's pastime is a little, it has a little different insight basically. Sati, when Ramachandra was looking for Sita with Lakshmana, Shankar was sitting with Sati, and Shiva paid obeisance to Ramachandra. Sati says, who is that? He said, my lord. He said, if you are lord, why he is crying for a wife? Then Sati went and took the form of Sita and went in front of Ramachandra. But Ramachandra said, Mata, where is Shankar? So Ramachandra recognized Sati in the form of Sita. So she became really ashamed and embarrassed. And then Shankar asked, where did you go? She did not tell. Shankar decided that now she is not fit to stay with me because she has examined and tested my master by falsely personifying as a Sita. So her destiny was to be destroyed. So there's insight in that also. And Lord Shiva, when he saw that Shakti is adamant to go to Daksha, even after my advice, he thought that she is going to die in any way. If I don't allow, then she will die here. If I allow him, she will die there. It's better she should die there. Why she should die at my home? Why? Because Shiva knows Bhagavad-Gita. He knows if he dies here, if she dies here, she will think of Daksha. If she dies there, she will think of me. She will come back to me as a Parvati. So at the final time, she will think of me. Let she go there. So there is much more really what's the sauce in between the pastimes. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.